Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Licence Subcommittee for Tuesday, 7th of May at 2 p.m. A warm welcome to those who are attending. My name is Councillor Roy Chamdell. I'm chairing the meeting. Details of the business to be considered today are shown on the agenda. Fire alarm. Bit of housekeeping. If a fire alarm goes off, it's the real thing. Follow the officers outside, and I think we meet outside the Miller's Tap, which is rather apt for a licensing hearing. Mobile devices, please switch them off or put them on silent. We don't want them disturbing the proceedings. Declarations of interest. Councillors, if you have any declarations of interest? No interest at all from councillors. Okay, roll call. Right, I like people to introduce themselves. I've introduced myself. We can go left to right. If you'll be seen on the cameras, but you'll only be heard if you toggle on and toggle off. So remember to, when you're speaking, to switch on the speakers. Okay, if you start, Chantal.
Good afternoon. My name is Chantal McLeod. I'm the legal officer for today's subcommittee hearing.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeannie Mukherjee, and I'm the licensing officer. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Manpal Singh, attending the appointment.
I'm Mr. Panchal from Personal License Courses UK Limited, representing the applicant.
Councillor Kuldeep Lakmana, and I'm a member of the licensing committee.
Councillor Becky Hagger, member of the subcommittee licensing.
Ryan Dale, Democratic Services Officer.
Thank you very much indeed. Order of proceedings. Just going to briefly go through how we do things here. Everybody gets an opportunity to make their case, first of all. Only the subcommittee will then ask questions or clarification only on what has been presented, both verbal and written. This will be followed by a discussion led by the subcommittee, and we can ask questions of each other as long as it goes through the chair. We then go to closing remarks from each party, and can I emphasise brief closing remarks. Everybody leaves, then the subcommittee deliberates on what has been heard, seen, read, and then we can call you back. You can wait for the decision, or we post the decision online, and when we come to that decision, we'll call you back in. Okay, clear? Lovely, thank you. Ginny, fire away.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon again, everyone. So you will have all received the report bundle and the addenda, and will be familiar with the application. So this is a hearing to consider an application for the renewal of a shop front trading license outside Sarin Express. The address is 212 High Street, Hillingdon, Hayes, UB3 5DS. The application was submitted by Mr. Manpal Singh, and he is represented by his agent, Mr. Pansal, today. The applicant seeks to renew the license to display fruits and vegetables, various household goods, charcoal, and water. The meterage assault is 2 meters, projecting outwards from the boundary of the shop. The original shopfront permission was granted on 29th of October 2021. And since then, the license has been renewed for a total of 4 times for a 6-month period. As with every other renewal, this application too was consulted with the ward councillors, the council's highways team, and the antisocial behaviour and environment team. The purpose of these consultations is to seek assurances that the applicant's proposals satisfy the requirements of the legislation and that they are suitable to be licensed. This renewal application has received objections from 5 residents, which are appended as appendices 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The 2 addenda have further submissions from the residents with photographs of the shop from different angles. On the face of it, there are no breaches of street trading license conditions from looking at these photographs. I recommend the committee grant the license. Regarding the length the license can be granted for, I would request the members to refer to Appendix 3, which is the street trading policy, and that's on page 17 of the agenda pack, where under paragraphs 4.1 and 4.2, there's more information on what length of time will be more suitable for this application. The committee may wish to attach additional conditions to the license to deal with the concerns raised. I have copies. I have one copy, but I have a copy of the standard conditions that might be of assistance. I would now invite the committee to determine the application, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Why have there been so many visits to... Have you written down how many visits they've had since its last application?
Chairman, we do not have a number because this has been going on since 2021, but because the premises has always attracted complaints, every 6 months when the renewal is up, it has attracted complaints. So on the back of the complaints, we have carried out several visits, and that has been carried out by different officers, many of whom have now left the council.
So, in terms of, do you have anything from any responsible authorities?
No, none, except yesterday in the afternoon I received an email from Councillor June Nelson, just forwarding an email and a photograph taken by one of the residents, which I think has been circulated to all of you this morning. So
while we're on that point, everybody's got that picture, yeah? And we've discussed it. Mr. Panchal's okay, and the applicant is okay with I've accepted it as a late submission. It's a photograph. Okay. Councillors, any questions on what's been presented? No? Yeah. Councillor Lakmana.
Yeah, I have one question. The 2 meters allowance from the front of the shop, there is a pole in the picture which is holding the canopy. The pole that holds the canopy, is that within the 2 meters which is allowed?
No, the pole is...
So there's one which is permanently there, which is a council property, but the canopy which is by Sarin, it's holding their canopy there. Is that within...
Can we just go page numbers and which photograph you're talking about,
yeah,
so make sure it's absolutely clear for everybody?
Yes, yes. So it's a photograph which... Yeah, so there's... I don't think this has a page number, but it's one of the submissions which was left on... I can hold that up. Okay, are you guys able to see that? Okay, so I'm looking at an appendix which was left here for us today. Yeah, so is that the white pole, is that within the 2 meters?
I would think so,
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lovely.
but that's the thing, like the license can be conditioned where we can say that the pole is restricting the space, and so that might be adjusted so there is more space between that inclined pole, that fixed pole, and the shop front. So we can condition it that way.
Thank you.
So just on that, this is the photograph we're looking at, yeah? Okay, you see that? So this white pole that you're saying that's protruding from the blind, has that been measured in terms of distance from the shop front to this? Is that been measured or not?
It has been measured before, and I think the pole is used only when there's it's raining to hold the awning. So,
can I just interject? I can just see that the applicant hasn't got it. It's the first appendix, which is in the additional paperwork. It's not in the main bundle. So it's got 1 or 2 pages. Yes, that's it. And if you turn it, that's the one.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Mr. Panchal, yourself, or Mr. Manpal Singh, fire away, your time.
Thank you very much, Chair, the premises have traded before. As you have seen in the bundle, that there was a hearing held, and at that particular hearing, the license was granted. And further to the grant of the license, as you heard from the license officer, that there are no objections from the antisocial team or any other responsible authorities, because the conditions have been followed. The shopkeeper has been having no breaches of the conditions laid out to him. So we feel we are here happy to take any questions or anything, and we would prefer that this license be granted today for the further period, as we haven't come across any breaches of the conditions. There are few objections that were also present at the same time during the first objection, if I'm not mistaken, which Ginny could confirm. Some of the objections were previously at the same time.
Yeah, there are repeat complaints.
Yeah, consent, yeah. So, Chairman, we are happy to have any questions, or we are happy to answer any questions, but there are no breaches at the moment there.
Can I also just interject, just to say, from the decision that was made in 2022, it would appear that there was a condition already to say that the licensed area must be within the dimensions approved by the council and marked out on the ground by the council. And I'm just looking at the decision notice for the 29th of April 2022.
So, Mr. Panchal, have you finished your presentation? Right. Any questions? Yes, Councillor Lakmana.
I think it's mentioned that there was no breaches, but there was one FPN which was issued. Do we know what that was for?
I think we can follow that one in our discussion stage on what is presented from Mr. Panchal. Any other questions? Yeah, Councillor Hagar.
Thank you, Chair. Can you just confirm the opening times for me, please?
I think operating hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's 7 to 11, but Friday and Saturday is until 12, but we close at half 11 every weekends only. But we go license until 12 o'clock, even the alcohol license and shop license.
Thank you.
Sorry, could you just clarify? I didn't quite get it. So what are your? I'm not asking what time your what your license hours. What time do you actually open?
It's
and close?
7 o'clock
To 11, Monday to
Sunday, and Friday, Saturday until 12 o'clock.
12 or 11:30? You said
11:30, yeah. So
Friday and Saturday until 7 to 11:30.
Yes.
And Monday to Thursday, 7 to 11. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And your license is until when? Midnight.
Midnight, yes.
Thank you. We've got, is that Peter? Come across, sir. Interested parties. How do you pronounce your surname? It's just like a bit like mine. Charolambus. Okay, Mr. Charolambus, you'd like to take a seat? Yeah. Same again. When you're ready, just toggle on and say your piece.
Good afternoon. Yes, my name's Peter Charalambus. I'm a resident, live in Hillingdon, have done for 45 years. My biggest concern, and also talking to other residents, is the shop being open really on a Friday and a Saturday evening, quite often till midnight, especially in the summer, with the level of alcohol consumption in the high street. It just compounds the problem for us residents. That's one case. The second case is, if you can see from the photographs, bearing in mind this is a conservation area and has been since 20 years nearly, and being an old village that it is, it wouldn't be so bad if all those boxes were cleared away of an evening. I can see that they are hazardous to people that walk, especially if you're partially sighted. Also, you say about the pole, it is actually incorrect that what the lady said. It's not within the 2 metre. Also, the other problem is children when they come out to school, because they all come out in mass and they walk to the shops to buy sweets, whatever, and quite often they have to walk in the road because they can't get by. They were my main concerns.
So apologies, my note taking is takes me a bit longer nowadays. In terms, I'll ask that in the next part, actually. Councillors, any questions on what's been presented?
I did have one, but it escapes me. If I can come back.
Okay, right. Okay, we'll move on to the discussion stage and rather rapidly. Actually, Mr. Charalambus, while you're there, have you had the opportunity to speak to the applicant about your concerns?
No.
Have you ever spoken to him about it?
No, not at all.
Let's deal with the concern. Mr. Manpreet Singh, that pole, has it been measured to, is it further than 2 metres? Because although I'm not sure what the legal standing is, because it's a temporary pole, isn't it? I don't know how that stands, but has it been measured to 2 metres? That's the first question is, has it been measured to 2 metres, yes or no? And if it has, what's the distance?
Yes, sir, it has been measured, and the canopy is around 2 meters, and the poles is temporary. We don't use it every day, and it's only like when it's wind or it's raining or stuff like that, so not to get fruit and vegetable and stuff to get wet. So that's why we use it for like a couple of hours. When this raining is stopped, we take it back. And in night.
But the question was just, is it within the 2 metres? That's all I asked.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right, that's fine. Thank you. In terms of, you had the opportunity to read all the objectors, why they are objecting to your licence, your application, and why it should not be renewed. Is any part of that, do you agree with, especially part of the waste? It's been mentioned that you put waste in that bin. Where do you put your waste?
I have my own waste bin, and I have already sent the email and even the pictures as well. I have the bin behind the shop, and we always use the waste and bin, our own bin. We don't put it in front of our own the council bin. We don't use that one. We only use our own bin. It's behind the shop.
Have you given us any photographs of this bin that you use? Yes. What page is that?
They haven't put it in here. I have sent it to the council. Yes, I forgot her name. 1 second.
just to switch people who are watching, there has been other representation made in written form, and that's all been read and taken on board. Mr. Manpra, if you haven't got a picture, you haven't got a picture, but you have a contract with the council for the waste to be picked up?
In the last page.
Could you turn the microphone on again? Sorry. Thank you.
It's in the last page, the report on the last page.
Page 76.
Yeah. So, how do you deposit your waste? Do you do that at the end of the day or during the day, or could you tell me a little bit about your operations?
Sorry, to put the waste inside the bin? How do you mean?
When waste is generated, how do you dispose of it?
It's every week, weekly. I mean,
from the shop. So when the waste is generated from the shop, what's the process? Do you go from the front of the shop, back of the shop?
No, we got a door. Sorry. We got a door in the shop, so we go at the back, behind the shop.
And when is the refuge collected? Once a week, twice a week?
They come behind the shop.
Once a week, twice a week?
Every week, weekly.
Weekly
basis.
Okay.
It's a contract with the council on, if you look at the page 76, the receipt for the contract is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but it doesn't say the frequency of collection.
Yeah, it's a weekly collection.
So that's why I asked the question.
Yep.
So I understand it's a weekly collection, yeah?
Yep.
So just something which, if you don't mind me calling you Peter, because I'm struggling with the surname. He made a point about something which, in that late submission, all your I don't know what to word this, counters, should I say, temporary counters, they're not taken in every night, and because it's a good point, because obviously during the day while there's product on it, I think these are the things that we should explore in terms of the law regarding the street trading licences. But I think it's a good point just to, what's the reasoning why this is not taken, knowing that this is a temporary structure?
Yes, sir, I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, we're not putting here, these are the boxes, we have to put it here. Before we was using the basket, and the council have said you can't use the basket. So these boxes, we only...
Sorry, what baskets were these?
The trays,
Bread basket?
Yeah, the trays, bread trays. It was a long time ago, since we started.
I remember that. I think I sat on that case. And I mentioned there were bread baskets from
Then we removed
major
that.
supermarket. Should be using, I remember those.
Then on the same day we removed that one. These boxes, we make it because we can't take it inside and fruit and vegetable. We only use it for night time, for the daily. And we can't take it, it's too heavy. And the problem is, if we get license for yearly or every year, no need to, we can renew permanent license, so we can make a trolleys, so we can take inside and bring it outside in the morning. So it costs around too much money, around 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. If we spend that money as well, and in the 6 months we don't get license again, then it's waste of money, So that's why if we get permanent license, so we can make trolleys, so nobody have problem.
So let me get this straight. So I understood it correctly, and the committee understands this. So you don't take these temporary counters, storage area, display boxes. Let's put them display boxes. So you don't take them in because it would be too expensive. But if you were granted a permanent license, you Are you offering this as a condition that you would make sure these will be taken in, day out? So that's what you're offering, yeah? Okay, thank you.
He also said it was too heavy to be brought in.
You mentioned it would be too heavy to be brought in, so how would you work around that? Thank you. Mr. Panchal, you can explain to him in Punjabi, I imagine. You speak Punjabi?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, fine.
Go on.
No, these are, wood boxes. They're heavy. But if we get granted for like yearly, so we will make a metal trolley, so we get tires underneath, so we can take it inside the shop every night.
Get it. I understand. Councillors, any questions? No? Councillor Haggart.
Thank you, Chair. I just noticed on this picture, the added one that we've got in, and also taking into account some of the residents' comments of having to get buggies and that passed. I do notice that there's a street sign here, isn't it? It's a parking one. I don't know what the distance between, obviously, the outlay and the parking sign is, and whether you can get a buggy through there. I don't know whether we've looked at that. I've just noticed that, Chair, so it might be important.
There's quite sufficient space for the buggies to pass through.
I think that's one for the highways, really.
Yeah.
Something that maybe we could pass on. Good point. But without any real measurements. Because I think, along with what Councillor Haggard is saying, is at the moment there's nothing there apart from the post and your display cabinet. Don't forget, with the awning out, you've then got a pole as well. So maybe this is something to be looked at a later stage. Ginny, could I sort of ask a question once again? Have we got any MEs issued by the local ward councillors regarding these issues? Because I don't believe I asked that question, or we asked that question, have we? I don't think so. Have we had any MEs issued by ward councillors regards issues such as prams, unable to go through there, people have to walk on the street because of the lack of space after school children are congregating around there? Have you had anything at all?
Chairman, there was a ME from Councillor Nelson, which is on page 52, I think, and that's to do with littering. So the email says the business in Hillingdon High Street, notable Sarin shop, is leaving plastic and boxes lying around the outside of the shops, causing littering.
So there's nothing about access, pedestrian access and ease of flow, nothing at all? Right, okay.
And highways too have been consulted and they haven't come back. And I know here the space looks very restricted. When I visited it, it did not look that narrow. And if you look at different other photographs taken, you will see that the space looks bigger in some and more tight in others. And I also wanted to clarify about the hours. So the premises benefits from premises license under Licensing Act 2003. That's separate to the shopfront trading license. So the shopfront trading license hours are only till 11 at night. And Mr. Singh should not be displaying any goods beyond that hour. But the shop can stay open until midnight. He might choose to close at 11:30 on some days, 11:15. That's his choice. But legally, the shop can stay open until midnight every day. Thank you.
Okay, Peter, ask your question.
The lady said that's midnight to every night of the week, Monday, including Thursday. The gentleman said it was only till 11.
Yeah, there's a difference between regulated hours on what time he can open until and operating hours. Operating hours is what he chooses to operate.
Okay.
So he can, the license is up to midnight every day.
Okay.
Is that Just make that clear.
Yes, Chair. It's appended in Appendix 13
Okay.
on page 67.
Right, so if I went in there on a Wednesday at 11:30, I couldn't buy a bottle of whiskey, is that right? Good.
Yes, you can. And they can legally sell it because their licensable hours is until midnight.
That's what I'm saying, though. Alcohol licence is every day of the week till midnight.
That's right.
That's a very good point to make, actually, because sometimes you can get distracted by what time they close and what time they're allowed to sell it until. So he has a license, it's quite right. On page 67 it says the time to licensable activities is 7 to midnight.
Sorry, Chair. So what's the point of having a licence till 11? If the licence says it's open, you can open till 11, Monday to Thursday, but you could still be open until midnight.
Yeah, licensable activities on what comes before us is anything after 11. It's 11 to 5 a.m. Anything beforehand, they can open it until 11 o'clock. They don't need a license, but they don't need to become before subcommittee to ask for those hours. Licensable hours are up to 11 o'clock. Anything after 11 o'clock are licensable hours. That's when it comes before a committee, should it need be. So anything after 11, we govern from 11 p.m. onwards until 5 a.m.
Okay.
I'm correct in that.
Can I? Yeah. Just a clarification. So the premises has two separate licenses, and they are two completely different separate legislations. So here we are just dealing with the shop front trading. That's the bit outside where they display all the fruits, vegetables, charcoal, water, household goods. We are dealing with that. And the hours for that is until 11 at night. So, but the shop remaining open is not under that license. That's under a completely different legislation, which is called the Licensing Act 2003. Under which, and I have appended the premises license for that, which is on page 67, where it says that the shop can stay open and trade, sell alcohol, because it's an off license, from 7 in the morning till 12 at night. So, yes, I think we are confusing the two. We are just dealing with this. We are not dealing with the shop selling alcohol and the hours. Thank you.
Thank you. You put it far better than I did, Ginny. Yeah, but I think it's good to clear up these things because people can get confused against the two operations. Yeah, both. Councillor Kamana, followed by Councillor Haggard.
Thank you. The gentleman, Peter, said that the drink issue, drink consumption outside on the high street, is that the only off licence that we have on the high street?
No, Councillor Lakhana, there are.
So it's not just this particular one. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mine's going back to the canopy. Can I just be clear? Is it just one rod that's holding on, not two? So just one rod on one side, two on either side, okay? And can I just be clear that when it rains, can you just explain what happens? So the rods were placed in, were they, because the canopy was lowering in the rainfall? I think I've got that right, haven't I? So what happens now? Does the middle bulge, or where does the rain go? So I think what I'm trying to gauge is whether the canopy actually drops, because on page 45, I don't know whether the member of the public came in. I don't know, but it says here a member of the public told us the other day that he had hit his head on the canopy. So I think there's two questions here. I'm trying to gauge the height of the canopy when it rains. Is it the same all the way across, or is it lower in the middle? Thank you, Chair.
No, there's no road in the middle. There's two roads in the sides. So when the customers come inside the shop, so they cannot hit their head. So when the canopy is down, so it's lower on the. That's why we put the two roads, so customer can come inside easily, so not to hit their head.
Sorry, I might not have made that clear. When it's raining, does the canopy drop with the weight of the?
No.
No, it doesn't.
pull up a chair, and I think Mr. Panchal is going to leave early anyway, so and make sure the microphone's on, and so explain who you are first, and
Hi.
what you have to do with the operation of the shop, please.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Jagmohan Singh Sarin, and I'm his older brother. So we are literally in the same business, but I work in a different off license. So I'm just trying to help him here because sometimes it's the understanding. So that's why I wanted to explain in a better way. So when you say the canopy, it drops when it rains. It actually does because the canopies are made in a way that it drops towards downward. So the reason that they put a pole to just hold it tight. So if the customer tries to come in, it doesn't hit his head on it. So it's like me, if I go in, I'm tall enough, so that canopy can hit my head. So that's why especially when it rains or when there is a bad wind, only then we use the pole.
Are these sticks part of the canopy structure, or is it homemade, sort of man-made things, or does it come with the canopy? Is that the operating structure for these canopies, that when it rains you can stick a pole in it?
Yeah, it does actually come with the canopy. So in case if there is a rain or sometimes bad weather, there is a snow, so it actually holds up canopy not to go down.
You learn something new every day. I know a little bit about canopies.
But if we are happy, if there is anything if there is any concern about it, we can sort this out. I mean, if the councillors are not happy with the pole...
Hold on there. Let me ask the questions. Page 45, we have something from Mr. James McApline, and he's talking about somebody hitting their heads on a canopy, knocking him out, and his head was bleeding. Have you any recollection of this incident? There's no time or date on it.
No, never happened.
No, we never had anything such like any complaint about it. We have never been informed about it, even in the shop as well.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, councillors? I haven't got anything else. No. Okay, then we now move into. We can do brief closing remarks, please. So just comments on what you've heard and what do you feel about it. So, Peter, you first.
If the licence was granted, I feel it would be a lot better that area was kept completely clear from the duration of them closing to the time that it opens, because it is hazardous at the end of the day. Be interested to see who are going to get the trolleys inside the shop, because you're quite packed in there, so you're not really going to get much space inside the shop of an evening for trolleys, I wouldn't have said. And also, I keep harping back onto this, or I have done in the past with various things. It is a conservation area. I find it the only shop out of 3 parades I've got a licence to display goods out the front anyway. It is in fact a medieval village from 1086, and I just feel it's an eyesore, for want of another word. Thank you.
Thank you for that, sir. Ginny.
Chairman, I agree with Peter here that the receptacles outside should be taken in at the end of the trading hours, and irrespective of what the length of the license is, there should be storage made available where they can be stored at night and when the shop isn't trading. Nothing further from me, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Manpreet Singh.
Thank you very much, Chair. Sorry, Chair. We're going to do 2 parts of presentation, because I'll say a few things, and Manpreet.
This is not a presentation. These are closing remarks.
Closing remarks I'm going to be giving.
Okay.
And,
brief closing remarks.
Yeah.
Very brief.
Yeah. The brief closing remarks from us is that we have traded here before. We have made sure the matters are in place. We are happy to remove these matters which are in front of what Peter's asking about every night. We will not be leaving that there. we have we request the committee that if
Sorry, I very rarely interrupt. I didn't understand that last point. What metal are you talking about? The metal boxes?
the metal boxes, yeah, at the moment, the metal boxes that the Peters got concerned with, we are happy to look into that.
So are you offering that as a condition, or?
Yes, we are offering that as a condition.
You're well experienced in this, Mr. Panchal, so what you say and what you offer has to have the action. That's what the subcommittee will take forward in their deliberation.
Yeah.
So please be very, very clear on what you're offering.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Before I offer that, I'd like to make it absolutely clear with Manpal saying that, are you happy that we would be removing the boxes at 11 o'clock from the front?
Yeah, if the license will be done, we will put trolleys from as soon as possible.
Okay. So as soon as possible, once the license is granted, they will be converting themselves into trolleys rather than the boxes that you see in the front. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So they will be converting into trolleys, which will then not be seen after 11 o'clock. After 11 o'clock, it would be removed. So we're happy to have that conditions once the license is granted. So, Chairman, that's we will make sure that none of the breaches are.
I'm going against totally what I'm going to have to interrupt you again because I don't want you offering something which you are not going to be able to deliver, and the timelines at the moment don't match up. If 11 o'clock is the time you do take away the trolleys, you won't be able to put them, if we go by what I've heard, you won't be able to put them away in the shop until after you've closed, because obviously the shop's open until up to 12 o'clock. It can be. So can I just tweak that a little bit and say you are offering, if I'm correct, trolleys which will be moved back into the shop when the shop closes? Would that be a better workable thing? I don't want to play on words, no semantics. I just want something that you offer which will work and you can operate, in a shop. So I strongly suggest you have a word with your
client,
your client, that this is, because when you offer something here, sir,
it's got to
make
be
it very clear. This is not to make us feel happy or the resident. This is about what you're going to do, and if you don't do it, it can come back before us, and then you can potentially lose your license. So please only offer what you can, and I'm just giving you as a little help, should I say? And Mr. Panchal knows me by now. Thank you. So think about that quick second and come back with it.
Sorry, just to clarify here, these boxes, where obviously from beginning they said that the boxes are here all night. They never used to be here. The only reason the boxes are here for couple of months, because there used to be standing boxes where we used to display the fruits, and they got damaged due to rain. That's the reason the boxes are here. But once, obviously, we've been granting the license, as we mentioned, there is two options we have. We can either make a small trolleys with the fruit, like maybe 3 or 4 small trolleys, which can enter in the shop once we closing. Or there is another way we have, which is we have a back garage behind the shop. So we can take the trolley back into the garage in a closing time and bring it back in the morning. So there is two options we have for that.
I think I need about 2 minutes, Chair, to completely clarify what the conditions they are willing to have. So I do.
I think that's 2 minutes well spent, because I think taking on board what people have objected to, and I'm conscious that this application is coming before the committee every 6 months. I think I'm very much of working with residents, make sure we have, we're not anti-business, we're pro-business in Hillingdon, but we want to have responsible businesses. So if there are issues and ongoing issues, we have various ways of dealing with it, whether it's councillors, MEs and all that. But I think the best way to deal with it is actually talking to people. So spend that quick 2 minutes. I'm okay with that.
Thank you very much, Chair. I got it sussed out now. We're happy to remove they will now be putting, instead of the boxes, they will be converting it into trolleys. Those trolleys at 11 o'clock will be taken round the shop at the garage. So the shop would be open till 12 o'clock, but the trolleys will not be there in the front. They will be taken away at 11 o'clock at the back of the shop in the garage. So there will be no trolleys in the front after 11 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Chair. So that is one of the matters that will be looked into and is put as a part of the condition that the trolleys will be removed at 11 o'clock when the time for the sales finishes in the front and the shop is open till 12. 11:30. Sorry.
Only weekend.
Chairman, I don't have anything further to remark apart from the matter, and we are happy to get in touch with Peter and other residents to make sure that matters are looked into, and whatever the complaints are, please do come and talk to our client. We are happy to look into it and make sure things are done properly.
Thank you for that brief remark. Now we move on to the deliberation stage. Now this is done in private, so if you'd like to pick up all your bits and pieces, telephones, mobiles, TVs, cameras, whatever you got, take them out, and then we'll call you back when we finish, or you can wait for our decision, or we will post it online. Is that okay? Thank you.